Here it says determine the rate of change in the initial value for the following function, and we're given a graph of a function. So the first step is to pick any 2 points, and we're going to calculate the slope between those 2 points. Now this graph paper is a little different in that they're showing whole numbers here on the darker lines. If this is -1, -2. I'm going to try to pick 2 points that are on this red line, that are on this grid paper I'm showing you here, because these light green lines represent whole numbers on my number line. That way I know when I am calculating the slope that I'm moving 1 unit up and 1 unit to the left, not like I'm going half a unit to the left and 3/4 of a unit up. So that's just my personal preference. So if I pick any 2 points on my red line now that are also on this light green grid line, my light green graph paper, I'm going to pick these 2 points. Now I can calculate the slope, which is rise, how much you're going up and down, which is like the change in the y, over run, how much you're going left to right, which is the change in the x's. So in this case, you always start with the point on the left. I notice I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going down 4. So that's what goes in my numerator. And then I'm going over 1. So it's 4 over 1. Rise over run. The next step is to simplify this. 4 over 1 is the same as 4 divided by 1, which is 4. And the last step is to ask yourself, is this positive or negative slope? I like to just look at that line and see if it is going up from left to right, it's positive slope. If it is going down from left to right, it is negative slope. So I can clearly see that my red line here is going down. So it is negative slope. So my slope is actually -4. Now slope is the same as rate of change. They're synonymous. So I already know part of the answer to this question. The rate of change, the slope, is -4. How about the initial value? What do you think that is? The initial value is the y-intercept. It's what is y when x is 0. So in this case, on my graph, I can already see the initial value is 3. But I know on your homework, you're presented with some graphs where you can't see where it's crossing the y-axis. You can't see that initial value. So let me go through steps 2, 3, and 4 to show you how you can figure that out. So first, we're going to pick a point on our graph, any point. I'm going to pick a point that has good numbers, like whole numbers. How about this one right here? This is over -1, up 7. Any point would work. Now that we know the slope, we know that m is -4, and we have a point. This point tells us that when x is -1, y is 7. We can substitute these into the slope-intercept formula. Because what the slope-intercept formula tells us is y, which our y is 7, equals the slope, m is -4, times x, our x is -1, plus b. And I'm just using a capital B because my lowercase b looks like a 6. Now we can solve this equation and see what b equals. When you're solving an equation, you always want to look on each side of the equal sign and see if you can simplify it at all. On the left side, I just have a 7, but on the right side, do you see anything that can be simplified? Here, -4 times -1. -4 times -1 is 4. So we have 4 plus b equals -7. Now what do? You just subtract 4 from both sides, and you get 3 equals These cancel out. 3 equals b, which is what our graph shows here and what I've already said. Our initial value is 3.